Yes.
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 I do not trust many other teams to do the same, or I think that there are better options that could be easier for other teams. You know, with the tools that you have, like I will consider removing this two and adding in the breach and Tejo. You know, I think that could be one of the changes that makes this composition more digestible for the rest.
I say that.
Yeah, but for as if today, now,
if I'm coaching this Fnatic, I keep
you
this.
would draft this
Because I think that Milan mentioned it in the interview, and we cannot forget, with everything that we've said about Alpha, I'm just going to keep on going, that Haven, there was a moment where they're 11-5 down, and Alpha just, you could see it in the VOD, you can go and watch that video back, because he decides he is not going to lose. They were able to win in kickoff. Let's see if they can do it today, and if he can bring in that energy for the team.
And it helps that he never loses it in his ult. His success rate is ridiculous.
And that's even strong.
It's ridiculous. I almost want to see, not this comp, but the ISO Yoru maybe on another map. We'll see. We'll find out. Yeah, we'll find out in just a moment. Despite the recent results, this is still an EMEA El Clasico, hoping to reignite this long-standing rivalry. Here is Fnatic and Navi. This is the 12th time that Boaster and Angel have faced each other in their VCT career. But the context is very different. Both are very desperate to reinstate their dominance in EMEA, and the new maps could just help them do it. Is this, can we check if this is the real map, Vito? Because I don't...
Wait,
I don't...
Peek.
There
are some points in my life where I just don't understand Navi, and I just want them to win so we can have an interview and ask for this, because they went to ban Ascent and pick Fracture. Fracture, by the way, the map that the 4 times the Fnatic played during kickoff, they picked Fracture.
Okay, I think the context of the Ascent is for those that don't know Navi, that don't know Angel. Every single time that Ascent has been in the map pool, Billy, Navi have always chosen it. And we know that is because they always have to start on the attack, and they became an incredible attack-sided Ascent team. This is their home ground for the last 5 years.
Yeah, but I think as well we do have to consider the changes, right? They got 3 new players in Navi, so maybe they're just not feeling 100% comfortable.
But Koala Noob doesn't feel comfortable on the set.
Maybe. Who am I to judge? But I think for me, like the big thing, as we look towards Split being that first map, hello? Fnatic picking that one is so weird to me, and then deciding to leave Haven as a decider. We saw it go to overtime last time, so I think it's very, very brave that Navi decide to just go, yeah, okay, we'll let Haven be the last map.
I mean, they had to choose between Icebox or Haven, and you heard it from Milan. Milan said, we're so happy about the new maps coming in. This is our comfort. I feel like he lied to me a little bit, because maybe I thought they would pick the Icebox, but hey.
I think that even considering the Ascent and maybe runs on double duelists and changes that we're seeing here on Split, keeping on that double duelist for the side of Fnatic. I really, really like that.
Yeah, I really like the double duelist from Fnatic. I think that's where they found the most success. I think Crashies on the Fades is an interesting concept to me. We see him on that Sova time and time again, but of course a map like Split, I'm expecting him to be able to help set up on that race so that he can really go in and get onto site. But looking over at Navi as well, we're going to see Hero jump back onto that Vise, which he played on a couple of maps during kickoff. It'll be nice to see if he's found any more comfortability on it going into stage 1.
That is definitely on his to-do list, right? Because we saw and spoke wonders of Hero throughout the entirety of last year. So for him having a rougher kickoff, playing in the Vice for the first time. I want to see how this 2 months have meant in terms of feeling more comfortable and just developing the skills. But this looks pretty evened out for both of the teams. I'm really, really excited to see all the Fnatic has been cooking up.
Yeah, and Fnatic have not run an Astra Viper on this map since like 2022. They always steered away from the Viper since then, so this is very, very exciting. As if this wasn't exciting enough, I got more excitement coming over to you guys. It looks like Pansy and Hypok have adopted someone into their duo.
Yes, we're very proud of our beautiful baby boy. First day at work as well, incredible. But let's kind of talk about this though, because it's a vintage matchup with a little bit of a vintage feel with some of this composition here.
Yeah, vintage being the key word. I think this goes back to, or Fnatic coming back towards a double controller composition actually feels quite nice here. Again, it's a refreshing change, I would say. It comes back to where Fnatic, I guess, went through an era of being very, very successful on Split.
Yeah, I think that it's a slight variation on the comp that they were playing before.
Sure.
They were playing the double duelist before, but this, with the Fade, gives them a bit more options, especially on that defense, where before they were struggling a little bit in kickoff. So they have more options now to deal with things.
Slow kickoff here to the pistol round. So Fnatic setting up outside A. It's not much in the form of defense on the other side of things for Navi, but
Yeah, it looks like Crash is just trying to make the distraction towards middle, and Fnatic can just explode onto this A site on a good timing.
Be Angel
Time to jump.
to try and deal with what's about to come his way, but waiting for the kind of trigger to this. It looks like we're about to see it happen. Alpha, first steps forward. He's got support here, quite tailor-made, and they're going to rescind away from the side. They don't want to actively fight this. It looks postured for a retake.
Yeah, great open plant here as well. Watch for Crashies on this mid lurk later on after this retake starts happening.
the key area here to control is towards Heaven. Priority comes through. You can see actually Crashy's tucked all the way in mid right now, just waiting for something, the green light for him to make moves. He's actually drifting into vents now.
This is on a hair trigger. Hero, flash go in. Trying to clear towards Pillar, but spammed away a touch now. Down to 79 is the push towards the site. Boaster with the first and Boaster with the second. Fnatic holding the flood back in. Chronicle's low, but he's still got support. It looked like it was all going one way as Koala Noob is going to fall. Fnatic, very clear intent by the end of that.
Really well coordinated as well, as it didn't even really need to rely on Crashies late onto that retake, but Navi, again, the flood onto site here, it just so happens Boaster gets these two kills. There's not,
nice.
You can't really plan for that, but yeah, it's rough because I think everybody from Navi's almost committed towards site. Maybe the penny dropping a little late on where the plant was. Again, that would have been the big indicator as soon as that smoke drops. There's going to be a late Heaven play.
I'm surprised that Navi opted to play so retake heavy. I don't see their composition as one that is going to be particularly strong on those retakes. Like, they didn't even, I didn't see a good use from Paranoia there either.
Yeah, that was a bit of a missing piece. Now, again, you're looking at the purchase here for Navi. It is exceptionally light, so nothing to write home about, but they are at least in the right place.
Their bodies here. Don't think there's going to be a tangible engagement for them to take, but Koala's got to be really careful. Yeah, heads up play here. Alfie had to find it with the paint shells.
I love this discipline from Fnatic. Just taking Heaven, and then we could just slow it down, freeze.
Forcing that move out of Navi, or the response from Navi at least.
Again, such good info off this Fnatic. No oversteps from Navi though. Wait and see who will be the first to move. Usyk really hoping gets away with daylight robbery, and Fnatic are having absolutely none of it. Clear work so far, very composed under pressure. These classics finding very little value on this, and it looks like someone wants a round done. Alpha, a little bit of a slap back to the face, so Shao's going to try and hold his ground at least. But if anything, just looks like a little snapping turtle down there. I don't think there's much more to come from it. Nah, Chronicle, zero fun to be had. Not letting that happen. A clear second round now.
Yeah, I actually designed the old anti-eco for Fnatic.
Here we go. I don't know if you guys know.
Wait. I'm about to praise the new Fnatic.
Okay.
The Fade makes it a little bit easier. We had to do some very ridiculous things with Cypher camos to, you know, we didn't have anything to get any contact, but the Fade here allowing, you know, space to be cleared quite easily. Nice little anti-eco that they had there.
The one that I made.
Yeah.
Not this one.
If I may say so myself.
I was giving credit.
Well, it didn't sound like it. Backhanded.
This is what it's going to be like. This.
Yes.
Well, actually, this is really to just break the ancient bias that we supposedly have towards them.
Oh,
We
yeah.
just have somebody to mould now. If
Yeah.
Fnatic do anything wrong today, but We can get back to like Coach Cam.
True.
Coach Cam Mini.
I just want to squeeze your hand. I've never figured it out, honestly. Who knows? But Navi trying to figure out what's going on over towards A. Chronicle. He challenged it super early. That paranoia pushing. Chronicle's still alive. He's not fallen yet. He does go down, but that's hugely indicative of how many players are on that A side.
Got the green light now to find some space towards Mail. Actually forcing their way through, so Fnatic is benefit out of that situation.
It looks like Navi are opting to play retake again.
Yeah.
No, it's the meme of the whole retake meta, but they're taking that to heart, and Boast is taking heads. Beautiful work from him, just to slip ahead a little bit there, the unexpected almost, and pausing for the plant now.
Again, with the Omen going down, the paranoia is the big piece of util in this retake for Navi. So this is a tough retake.
Alpha, let's try and play around this, fall back a little bit. They're getting a little bit of pressure on towards Pillar. Boaster again, big impact from the man so far. 2 kills, looking for a third. He's got it, eyeing up maybe a fourth. IGL v IGL, Angel's got that one in the bag.
Boaster started off hot. Like if he got that one too, 6 and 1, yeah.
Would have been a huge clutch to find here on round 3. But the battle was old as time between Angel and Boaster. Coming out on top this time.
Yeah, I think it was just the round was pretty much down to Chronicle dying there early. That kind of Viper outside A. I don't think he's ever played Viper on this map. At least I've never.
I mean, you should know.
Well, I mean, he didn't play it with me. But he was the second highest rated Viper in 2023, behind Leaf. So I'll give that one out for free.
That's pretty good.
He's got them in his back pocket.
Hasn't he? He's got a Rolodex of it. Remember when I did this, guys?
Yeah, I mean, Fnatic have got to be aware of that now, that Navi, well, so early on in this half, identifying that Chronicles may be going to be in a position to just be a nuisance, right? Just to play around the wall, try and isolate something.
I mean, look at the difference.
Yeah, exactly. Straight away, you see the adaptation. Playing much deeper. Navi will obviously allow him to do so. I don't expect Navi to be guns blazing, charging him down, but
if he continues to get pressured here, they can bring the Fade at the start of the round to just support.
Yeah, yeah.
Go back to this middle kind of.
Oh, Walanoob though, still sharp with it. Nice from him. Angel in support as well. They do have a little bit of a push and pull system, but it's the vents that are shut now. Boaster fallen, leaving just Alpha and Kron to try and pick up the pieces, but this mid battle is won.
Actually, Spike so really fully lost here, but it's going to be fairly difficult to retrieve, especially with the gap between Chronicle and Alpha. They're not just going to give this up already. 40 seconds left on the clock.
Unless they're going to go for some weird vents.
Yeah, I was going to say whether or not they do actually look as if they want to group and make some progress towards ramp. Or maybe just anticipate nobody from Navi is going to be playing over here. We've given Spike.
It just looks like a save.
Yeah. Maybe looking for a consolation or something.
I do like how Navi, so Navi in the last round, we saw them with that A main pressure, which scared off Chronicle. And then this round, they're kind of wary of the fact that they were able to take that A control and kind of make Fnatic scared, and then we're able to just stack towards middle, or like have that mid fight quite nicely. So Navi reading the pace of the game, like reading it quite well.
For now, I'm just going to let this one simmer on out at 2-2 here. Navi not letting this get too far from them. And again, kind of rolling our minds back to expectation. Between these two, once upon a time, this would be the marquee matchup, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
It's a very different time now looking at these two teams.
I think it's fair to say the expectation is still very high for both these teams. Right? And it's, again, not necessarily a disaster, a kickoff, but definitely below where we'd expect.
Yes.
I think one of the, again, whether or not we're going to hit this again today, but for me, one of the things is we've got to see the value of the Crashies pickup. Right? I don't think we've actually had an opportunity to see many examples of Crashies living up to the expectations. I mean,
it's a big name.
A very big name and a very capable player. That transition period has almost expired in my eyes. But allowance.
Yeah, there is always that window of just, okay, getting used to the team, getting used to the role, kind of playing again as well, playing actively in this sort of level. Hold on. Coming in too. Walanoob very early on this and smacks his head in. That
there might have been a miss click.
Yeah,
so
that
far away.
It was so far away. I mean, was he on stairs when he popped it?
I think so.
Maybe just a complete miscomm here, and
see play that back if we can, POV, just to get a reminder. Because you're looking at the purchase coming here for Fnatic. It's the 2 Vandals, and any small reward is pretty nice for Fnatic. They'll be happy with that. The 3 Sheriffs here. There is some threat, though. Again, Alpha's only 2 away from his ult. Chronicle instantly put low, though. That's got to be a switch out of a weapon now.
Yeah, it is. Fnatic just basically waiting for somebody on the side of Navi to overstep, find an opener here on the back of Alpha and Chronicle. Now looking to group outside B.
30 seconds left.
I think this strat is going to be a little fake towards B, and then we're going to see the Astra Viper maybe getting a lurk into middle here behind.
So if it works out, they are really pressuring through that B main. You're seeing the support smokes coming in from afar from Rufsik. Boaster, beautiful timing on Heaven.
Looking good,
but
man.
the time, 10 seconds, they got to still really make this work. Shao trying to be a thorn in their side, but it's Angel taking away Boaster, and time is of the essence. 5 seconds. That is so close, but I think they got this down. They do 2v2.
Xiao's on 15 HP.
How the hell did Kron just get that as well? That's perfect. Kron was only on 10 HP himself. Koala Noob, who burned that all early, now might be feeling the pressure. But Kron caught completely aghast, unsure where he was, and there it is. We asked a question of Crashies. He found an answer this round.
Beautiful recovery as well, because it almost looks like a couple of members of Fnatic going to get isolated, caught ahead of this, but a crucial kill from Chronicle onto Xiao. I mean, I don't know if the intention is to commit towards bottom mid here.
Misclick the ult.
Misclick the ult, yeah. But just to notice again, Boaster looking phenomenal to kick things off here on Split.
Last player standing.
I love the strat for Fnatic too. I can't tell you the name of that
It's one of
strat.
yours.
It's one of Boaster's. And I'm not allowed to tell you the name because it's questionable for broadcast.
We're not that far down the coast stream. Just yet.
Give it a couple more maps, you never know.
We're still censored.
Rufsik is under pressure, and not the fun kind. Gonna have to try and get out, and straight into the trap, the seize, the paint shell, all there.
Anticipated the TP back.
That's wild. That's a 5v4 above a minute.
Yeah, gonna get a couple of ultimates in play here. I mean, actually, the only 2 missing, Chronicle and Crashies, only 1 away. It's almost a full tank for Fnatic, should they choose to invest anything. Again, still got my eye on when Chronicle decides to make moves. He's actually slipping back into sewers now.
Angel. Oh god, Angel.
Oh my god, it was so close to nearly spot that.
Yeah, nuts. Kayak in the meantime has popped the ult. He's having a look. He's seen pretty much everything. And you're going to hear the pop of the ult this time. This one's intentional, but it still doesn't find its span. Angel still alive. I don't know how. It feels like he's just ping-ponging around this site. Kayak finally removes him. Man advantage still to Fnatic. And then continued. Chow down. It's on Hero and Kawalanu. Operator difficult as well. Divide adding on top. Fnatic want this round. They've invested into it. A brutal time for Hero Hound to face the team he was once eyeing up. Kayak gonna take him away, leaving just Koala Noob shot. It ain't over. Does he expect the position here? He's playing it well. Crashies has a really complimentary angle, but it felt close for a moment there.
Yeah, it was toying with the idea of full clearing that, but regardless, Fnatic find their 4th. Again, actually finding some positives here in the early round. But again, not overcooking. They're not too quick to reposition here. They're cautious in approach.
I think this is the history of these 2 teams. Like, Boaster knows that Navi and Angel, these teams on the defense in the mid-round, that he knows that they're going to do these repushes.
Yeah.
So freezing in these mid-rounds through this series is going to be big for Fnatic on the attack side.
I was wondering what I'm saying, but it is a Navi timeout. And I think you're right, is that, I don't want to say comfort in reading your opponent, but understanding what they want to do, preparing for it, and playing very well. Fnatic showing that they've been able to fight back here, because I was a bit worried that round 3, round 4, looking like Navi's got a really solid grip on it. I was a bit worried they'd actually run away with it, but in reaction, we saw that beautiful conversion in that round 5 with the Sheriffs there, the 2 Vandals, even after such damage on Chronicle early on, still able to convert. We're seeing some lovely stuff from Fnatic, but the depth now gets tested for Navi here. What options are you seeing for them, either of you? Is there many open avenues here? Because I like what they were doing early, but it feels like that was adjusted to within a round.
Sure, yeah, I don't think you're really justifying some of these rounds. The same sort of thing to set up to deal with Chronicle. There's a big question mark now. This might be a round that's kind of indicative of how Fnatic have adjusted, because there's so many bodies elsewhere. if Navi can identify one of these avenues, one of these lanes to explore early on, I absolutely want to see them do it. Now we've got some ultimates to maybe complement that, but it's not really a composition you want to be pushing out too far on defense. Like I said, it's not necessarily suited to the retake, but
yeah, it's weird. It's like they can't fight aggressive, but at the same time, I don't think they win the.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Fnatic are well equipped to deal with that sort of thing.
So far, displaying that here, comfortable round as it stands. Information found. Koala Noob is going to be given away. Oh, it's clean work from Fnatic. Rusick, nice little pick up there, but there needs to be a lot more of that for them to actually find impact on the round.
Yeah, the exact same anti-eco approach we saw before, and it's. You know, you could see all the layers are there. Every corner's checked. The freeze again on Heaven.
Yeah, they're just waiting for Navi to try and come in and clear this space or get something to work with. What's it going to be forced even further? Hero, got to be careful, but able to back away. Xiao, not so much.
Yeah, that's unfortunate, really, isn't it? It's either Boaster or who knows going to find it, but smoke doesn't seem to work. So, for now, clean stuff. Going down, not the end of the world. Happy with that one. Fnatic looking very composed here. And again, how did we feel when we saw them at kickoff? Actually, I'm going to come back to that because we do have so many ults in hand here for Navi. The pendulum swings that this has to be the big round, right? If they've got a trump card to pull out, this is the one you do it for. Operator in play. 4 ults there.
I was about to know that. It implies they're probably going to slow things down, but if Koala's going to start now actively looking for aggressive angles. Yeah, I was going to say, finally, we're back to... I think this might even be almost a carbon copy of previous, but difference being there are bodies for Fnatic on the other side of it this time.
It's not just Chronicle. He's got the boys with him. See the concentration. Trying to pick a choice.
Operator noted as well.
Very heads-up work for them doing that. Again, going through that protocol is, and it does look exceptionally similar, doesn't it? Same sort of setup, that same spring towards site. Going to see if Alpha's going to go forward on this. No. They actually look to maybe pull something different here.
The eyes on Boaster as well. He's going to find anything towards Xiao. Who's considering a lurk out, but still actually get a little bit of contention here. Yep, Koala going to find Alpha.
That's brilliance from him, sticking around after it felt so quiet on the map as well, rechecking towards Heaven, staying and finding the man, but they found a lot of space through vents here. Xiao must have seen Boaster then. Calls coming in, they've got to prepare themselves for this pivot. And they've navigated past the wall, completely unconsidered. A late look from Angel, maybe starting to put it together, but he turns away, and the timing is divine. Kayak slicing through them, and now Xiao has to evacuate.
So the TP though, into the backlines here from Ruxick.
God.
This could be disastrous.
Wait, oh, Boaster has a look, but even he's a bit surprised. Chronicle, oh, Ruxick, that's stunning. Spikes down. This could be done for. Kayak trying to find the man. Ruxick is not falling. Defending that spike with his life. And Crashy's now just too late to the party. It felt so perfect for a moment's time. And Ruxick absolutely trashes it.
I was about to make the point that they had the Vice ult and the Astra ult, Fade ult ready for this retake, and then Ruxick decided to just use an Omen ult instead.
Yeah, there's a moment's hesitation there. I'm not sure of what the pressure was on the front side, because I was so focused on the TP behind. And Ruxick's just gifted. See here, yeah, it's Boaster to come through, but again, it's so disjointed to come back and deal with the TP. Chronicle's caught in a weird run and gun situation, then, I mean, Kayak's got not much else to do there. Some sort of desperation move to get the spike back, but...
I know that the Vice wall in that later round kind of caused a false sense of security, but I do think Fnatic are going to have to deal with that wall. Like, having that wall up for Navi the entire round gives them so much information to kind of move around and deal with wherever Fnatic is making noise.
Again, variety on approach, but we are seeing an answer back from Alpha.
Yeah.
Fancy a go himself. Attack side up in hand. Already making the cross this time, though. Different challenge now.
Awareness from Koala as well.
Yeah, we did see the Fade Crashies there trying to crowd her out in case.
What?
Yo, give me that. Give me both POVs. Give me both POVs
and a player
on
react,
that.
please.
Please. I blinked and missed it. That's... But does that give away much? What does that tell you here? Fnatic now find success on one side of the map, right? But they were kind of leaning towards this B site.
Navi reading it as well.
Oh, nice from Hero. Instantly stopping Alpha in his tracks. They still have util here. RV looking to work things back in, but the ult's starting to come into play.
Cut the sound here. Chronicle actually opting not to progress through mid. Trying to make his way back towards B main here. Fnatic gotta make use of this window.
What a strange divide of the site. The ult's layered now, gonna make this tricky. Boaster, the operator there. Look, we've said things about him with it in the past, and it's working so well. Ruxic was the hero they needed, and right now he's melting. His down to just Angel, it's only for a moment. Fnatic's composure in these crunch scenarios seems exceptional.
And it's so well coordinated. Actually, when this engagement finally comes through, Fnatic have got a couple of really good answers in terms of that freeze. Oh, it's pixel perfect from Chronicle.
Very
Beautiful
nice
shot from Boaster as well. I'm going to keep saying that today. Kayak as well, dealing with Shao. Yeah, really well-rounded. I said composed once they get in.
On the map, look out for Navi, the way they're playing, with the smoke around where the circle is in the radar right there. They keep trying to smoke that off and then have like a weird passive hold, and it's giving Fnatic a lot of space to just be composed on the side.
And that is something that surprised me, considering how tense it felt, that Fnatic have looked quite comfortable in situations that traditionally probably wouldn't be, but pushing forward Alpha, always been... Oh! Right back at you. All right, Kron, you're going to do that to my boy. I'm going to do it right back to yours. Alpha now down. We've got man up for Navi, and considering their buy, they needed that. Koala Noob's only on that stinger.
Oh. I was going to say Boaster maybe.
Feeling a bit too much.
Yeah. Punished here in mid. Still 3 alive for Fnatic, though. Looking to make some progress, potentially towards 8. Spike trailing behind a little bit.
They're really re-clearing middle. Navi being quite proactive.
I mean,
maybe question marking the smoke, but you know what I mean? Maybe someone's still there a little bit deeper, but they've got good info on this. Got a little setup as well towards heaven.
I was going to say, it's heads up from Navi to just sit back here. They can wait on the util. Wait for an indication from Fnatic.
And again, you isolate Kayak with this. You're going to use that Vice utility to just deny the support system, and he reads it. Hero reads it so well. Taking away Chronicle and Crashies. The timing, does he get it? No, Shao, sharp again. They are really getting into Fnatic's heads here. Kayak is going to need to be the hero of more than the hour. It might be of the week, month, year. A 1v5, paranoia in. He's still topped by Pillar. Does he get another one? Oh my God, Kayak. Hold on. Oh, I was on board for that. I was ready. The Navi needed this.
The early pick this time around going in favor of Navi. Again, not overstepping the mark too much. Confirmation of further presence behind the operator.
I find it funny that we used to have a rule that we went down 4v5 because we had so many good players who'd want to then kind of bring back the round. The rule was that, you know, don't go for the solo. Like, don't go for that solo play, and it's Boaster who's breaking his own rules.
Oh, Fnatic getting absolutely rinsed. All the inside info comes out. It's like, oh, Boaster actually broke his own rule there, boys. Coward. Yellow card.
I mean, it's good to see the
Yellow
confidence.
Card.
Yeah?
Yeah.
A new look for Boaster.
Confidence. Oh, guy, hold on. And Koala Noob, speaking of confidence, it's flying. Navi, kick it up a gear. It's not just one, there's several. But hold on, we called out Crashies and he's on a heater now. Sharp with it, punishing the aggression. Taking back the space, the Haunt gonna go in as well and clear a little bit of B main, so they can just pause for a second here. Man up this time.
Massive gap in the formation, so Navi, a lot of questions left now for Hero and Shao, but Kayak and Crashies walking wounded. Maybe some hesitation. Chronicle's still over towards A side, or down towards sewers at least.
Fnatic, again, just expecting Navi to react. They know that every single time in these kind of mid-round situations...
Waiting for the re-clearance, yeah.
Exactly.
Which is coming.
It's there. Just a second away.
This is an awkward situation, though, because Crash is going to be left solo with the spike. If he's caught on and actually Kayak can't confirm anything...
But even that lack of seeing anyone does feel a little indicative. Oh, the damage, though. Crashy's now joining basically the infirmary, but what the hell? Crashy swings it, takes away Hero. That paranoia was right the whole time about it.
It's a weird cross now. They've got to wait for Chronicle to come and apply some pressure. Going to do that, yeah.
Feels on a knife's edge, even though it is a 1v3. Shao so capable in this. You got Kron.
He's
yeah,
looking
he's
for the
sitting
lurk,
pretty.
yeah.
It's the right call, it's just the wrong place. Oh, but that's a shot! Shao now, look at the HP. It is so doable, but he's caught by the C's. Looks like there's a pop flash in hand. Swing together! Oh! Crashes, it's gorgeous! Fnatic standing together here no matter the HP.
The start of that aggression for Navi couldn't have gone better.
No.
Every single fight.
It was just crashes. The response from him was amazing. If crashes and Boaster are looking like this, it's a scary prospect.
It's right here again. There's straight down mid, but the perfect time for this pinch to come through. Kayak actually also finding a response. Yeah, heads up play from Crashies.
He's in the block, bro.
Nothing for Shao to do. Yeah, so I'm really, really impressed with Boaster and Crashies so far. The whole of Fnatic, sure, but certainly on an individual level.
Okay, Kron wins those fights. Just maybe don't fight him towards ramp. Oh my god, but look at the C's here. Alpha trying to just keep himself safe. Nothing punished him in the end, so just slowed down a little on the way forward. And I'm looking at the position from Rootsy. Maybe he gets away with daylight robbery, but no. This is difficult going forward. But Fnatic have looked good in these scenarios, composed under Navi's high levels of pressure here. And again, a correct read. That's going to catch just about everyone. Send in Alpha, send in Kron. Fnatic in the in-zone flawless, looking stunning.
Brilliant first half from them. Again, I think it's perfect. The kind of the push and pull we're seeing here, both teams understanding really, really well, but it's Fnatic to come out on top.
Remaining.
Choose Winters and Yonker, and we will send an attorney to you for your auto accident. I'm Bill Winters. If you've been in
So, 4-8, bit of a back and forth affair, but it looked like Fnatic were equipped with what Navi were trying to do. Their calmness under pressure, the pauses, the good reads, and also the individuals. Again, your boasters, your crashies, putting up numbers. Now for Navi though, we've got to flip the script and look towards them. Does this composition in any way, shape or form work in your mind on this attacking side? Where do we see this going, Mini?
This composition, you got double smokes and a Vice. It's not got that explosive double duelist. It's not got the explosivity of a breach. I think it's a more defensive-sided composition. Even then, I think it struggles. So I don't have the explosivity.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Okay, that's one way to do it. One of them was able to take the TP out of there and get to safety. The other's not so long. Oh my god, whoa. Have they just forgot that people can walk through these smokes? This is getting completely messy. Koala Noob can't control it.
Koala Noob ends up in a different dimension to the rest of Navi, but the response comes immediately from Alpha, and then the second and third layers of Navi completely dismantled. Again, the disrespect on the smokes fell apart.
They have explosivity on the Rays, but you need the backing util or maybe a second person with you.
No one can really get there, it looks like. And here it is. I think this is the walk on the smoke. Yeah, nothing can stop you.
You can see that on the X-ray as well. Then it's two coming out of B main to shoot them as they're dropping into hell.
Nice pistol, boys.
Like I said, Koala's all the way behind Pillar onto default. A huge gap.
Something I did want to mention is that Fnatic, last time they played, they had struggles on the defense side. But I think that with this composition, I think the reason they had struggles was the lack of proactivity. But their composition now allows for a bit more proactivity on the defense. They can use those prowlers to get back into positions. And so I'm not as afraid about their defense this time around.
And that was against BBL,
It was against BBL, yes.
So, again,
Then
clearly,
against this exact comp, the Fnatic plan.
clearly a little bit of adaptation, clearly understanding that was simply not good enough. And for Crashies, should be farming time, and it is. Comfort for Crashies. Those two players trying to work their way up. You need a little bit of silver lining here. I want to see Navi with at least a bit of a fire starting to burn under them. Moster just soaking it up.
Angel where you'd expect him, up through ropes. Poster reading into it pretty well. Crashies will find a third as well.
15 and 3.
The Crashies?
15 and 3. I think so.
It wouldn't surprise me considering, but...
And that would be genuinely a big upswing in performance, because it does feel harsh when we, if we go into him a little bit too heavy, but
yeah,
Crashies comes with a lot of, caliber to him. He's, pedigreed player, historied player, and he wasn't quite up to the caliber we wanted. And yeah, he is absolutely at 15 kills and 3 deaths.
Quietly, I mean, the 3 deaths is the more surprising thing.
They are.
But Leo cosplay?
Leo cosplay. And doing pretty well.
I miss him.
I miss Leo. Yeah, we'll see now. Navi can actually, yeah, Koala with a judge coming into this.
Maybe the fast satchels again towards
Yeah.
middle.
Bring them down.
That
Coming up
puts
from sewers.
Yeah, Chronicle in the firing line. Paranoia's gone into it as well, so they've really gone for this one. But Chronicle, he didn't get hit by the Paranoia, it seems. He had time to be ready for it.
I mean, it's still rough that Koala doesn't get that with the judge. It's a miss on the first, but yeah, Chronicle well handled on his part for sure. And conceding that expected space up towards Vents. Big gap towards Mail here, but seeing Chronicle now come to pick up the slack, which is the perfect read. He's going to be there potentially to greet the cross. I think probably a confirmation of intent here over towards B main as well.
Yeah, especially with seeing that. Ruxic, nice try, mate. Not gonna happen ever, apparently. Navi trying to find ways in, and all the doors are shutting. Thinking maybe they've slipped a net here or there. Absolutely not. Shao drifting away from middle, and Angel not really making much progress. This could be called off pretty quick.
I mean, at this point, hold on to the rifles. 40 seconds left. Don't expect Fnatic to really send anybody out on a fact finder here. Yeah, rough, because Fnatic going to find 11. And not really, I mean, other than the judge coming in, Koala's at 650, so a chance to maybe invest something back into this. But it's one of those awkward rounds where it basically leads Fnatic to 12 in terms of expected outcomes, at least.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm a bit worried about Navi. Their main two approaches so far have been the
10 seconds
explosive satchels, and they both kind of fell a bit flat.
Fizzled out.
Yeah, this does.
I was going to say, I'm worried with one, maybe not the two, because now, yeah, no chance of recovery here for Alpha at least, but majority standing. Let's not read into it too bad. Actually did get caught by the Paranoia, but again, he's playing deep enough there that he's back on the angle to greet Koala. So mitigating that risk perfectly, yeah.
Make that noise.
That's pretty close, right, Minnie?
That's good.
No, it's your turn now.
No.
Oh, he's still pretending to be
I can
serious.
pretend.
Anybody watching the vertical feed right now? Just like...
3 of them are absolutely loving it. Do you miss being there, Minnie?
No, not really.
Do you want one of those jackets?
If I'm 11-4 up, I don't mind it.
Oh, right, okay.
No.
Okay. What was the hand squeeze thing? I don't know if I've asked you that.
No, I'm trying to...
Anybody still on the vertical feed is going to be asking questions.
I think I like to... You know when you got like a stress
I'm going to
ball?
stand this way.
Yeah.
Like that was just like a stressful kind of moment, but for some reason my arm's in the air.
Right.
Yeah, I need one of those mosh pit, you know, the
Oh,
mosh
the
pit
little-
stressful.
yeah.
I'd look less ridiculous. I think slightly less ridiculous about that.
Fair enough.
Champs was stressful.
I'm sorry, bro. I put you in a bad mindset going forward, haven't we? 4 to 11, though. Speaking of bad mindsets, this is going to be rough for Navi. I mean, 4 rounds isn't much, right? If we're going to call it what it is, there's been some unfortunate moments, it feels, but no one's bailing them out. Koala Noob's had a couple big rounds here and there, but again, Angel's quiet, Hero's quiet, Rooksik's barely there, Xiao's barely there, you know what I mean? And it just feels like they're being outdone here.
Watch out for this outlaw, because there's only two players with full armor here for Navi.
There's a perfect seize as well. That's going to catch at least 2. Pain Shell now there. They did. Oh!
Sure it does,
okay,
yeah.
Well, you get away from one problem, and then Crash is there with another. He's a little tucked on the site. Does he get time to back away now with the wall up?
And with a lot of success in these early rounds, Crashes actually has his ultimate already. Kayak greeted on the other side, but not rewarded.
Navi, these steps, even just to get towards heaven, seem really hard. Taking it over as best they can. Kayak is feeling a lot of this pressure coming his way. Now, deep smoke comes in. He's going to commit towards that CT side, but there's still bodies here. They should know about maybe Alpha because of that Pain Shell coming in, but they've got a lot to undo on A.
Yeah, Alpha Crash is actually tucked into a crossfire here.
Alpha's got to run the gauntlet.
Yeah, walking into the blender almost.
Here we go. The Paranoid should remove one. Koala removes the other. Crashy's back out of it. He can't deal with Xiao. But Kayak's still there on the side. He just slips forward. There's so many bodies here. Expecting the push up, no. Xiao slips into the smoke and he controls the site. Spike not in hand. They need to wait a moment here to get some of this simmering down, and the plant should be up next.
Boaster trying to get something done here. Xiao's got to be careful. 56 HP playing just outside this smoke.
Boaster likes to spam a smoke.
Yeah,
too.
he does.
He loves a bit. Oh, it's Chronicle this time. Here we are. Trying to play a little kind of setup together, but now Xiao not finding a target yet. He's reading it right for Kron. Spots him out. Waiting on the rest now.
Concealment. One enemy.
Boaster. Beautiful from him. Takes
Slips
away
away
Hero.
as well.
And they know it was Xiao. Still on the site. They're going to know he's by pillar. He's playing Ring a Rosie. They might not be up for these sort of games, but he's going to try and play to the timing. Play to this. See if he can do the blocks.
He tried to
help
body
him
block.
out. It was a nice try, but nice ain't good enough. Kron can clear, but the time is gone.
Navi will cling to life here, preventing 12 on the board with the Red Bull clutch here.
Yeah, Fnatic had the perfect setup really to deal with that, but somehow the crossfire is not...
Yeah. Again, I think paranoia lands. Crashes is kind of he's forced to just wait it out, and that's when Alpha, I believe, on site is isolated. Again, that's when you kind of want another body somewhere. I think just saw it on the X-ray there, tucked inside the smoke, not able to get out quick enough.
The one thing I would say is that in the 5v4, I'm fine with what they did, but I want to see that reactivity the proactivity in the mid round. They just sat still, no Fade Prowlers out to see anything. They made the right gamble, but I want to see if Fnatic got those layers in these other rounds.
Oh yeah. There's a little bit of a look towards the main, sees nothing, but Navi focusing towards middle, or at least showing presence here.
Poison's off.
On guard here. Whether or not Navi are just going to dry walk up here in classic Navi style, but
Contact. God.
above the steps here, you can see him relaying that information as well.
Yeah, you can already see the turn as well from Alpha.
Yeah.
Now, mostly focused towards that vent push-up. Same to be said with Crashies, maybe trying to create that nice little crossfire here. So far for now, they've mostly managed to get, I think it's Rookzik tucked towards those vents. Still maybe looking towards that mailroom push-up. It's Hero trying to lead the way. Flashes there, denied, and they go back.
I think, yeah, if you look at what's happening outside A right now, they look as if they want to end towards it.
This
Alpha's in a really tricky position.
What a conundrum for him. Alpha trying to look one way, trying to deal with the other. You're going to see the ult coming into effect here, but Crashies now has to try and pick up the pieces. They're already trying to cross towards the side. Crashies, he sees another. Does he get another? He goes down. Xiao now finds a way forward. A 3v3. Kayak can't go on your own now. Slow the tempo. The plant is in play.
I'm going to go up, going to seal the deal for Fnatic, sorry, for Navi for the time being here. For the 3v3.
No big util here for Fnatic to retake with. They're going to have to win some duels.
Let's see, Xiao's sharp, already still looking up towards that ramp, but it's a flood back through from CT. Rookzik respects it, slips back a little deeper, tag towards Boaster, but it's answered back. Hold on, it's all on one. Rookzik with a 1v2, he can't handle it. And they took the duels and they won them.
All three members of Fnatic forced through that smoke, but able to win out with those first 2 kills. Beautifully done. They said Rookzik actually coming out worse off with that kind of weird engagement between Boaster, down to what, 30 HP or something.
And I like that start. It looked like Navi had got that timing right on that crunch, clearing up ramp. You saw how uncomfortable it was for Crashies and Alpha there.
I think the entire round Navi were like one step ahead. Fnatic early, they were using the fade. I don't know if you guys noticed it, but they were using the fade to re-clear the A. Nice. But by the time they did, Navi crossed middle, and it was like Navi were just one step ahead the entire time, and it came down to Fnatic running through smokes and hitting shots.
Which is not something you say often.
No, it's really not, but look at what Navi are left with. And they're just going into it, it looks like. You know, head first for Halos as Boaster looks caught off guard. Maybe unexpecting this sort of tempo, this pressure coming in. Guadalupe's going to clear him. So they've got a corner on the side, but it ain't much. It ain't pretty. Back with an Outlaw trying to... What are we up to? Oh, it's working! That shouldn't be working! Chronicle and Crashies, the last two up against Angel and Hero. No plant yet. Above a minute. Prowler's caught. I think he's given away maybe both of them. C's there as well. Crashies, his util just does not miss, and neither does Chronicle. Fnatic with a absolutely brilliant first map here. 13-5, that was quick as anything.
Yeah, putting on a clinic and looking much more comfortable in terms of the overall approach, in terms of the confidence levels and also the composure from Fnatic. Definitely a big positive here on map 1.
Compositionally, I wasn't too impressed with Navi this map, but Crashies is the player we have to talk about here. Beautiful performance from him.
Spot on, I'm sure the desk will do exactly that, and we've got Fracture coming up next, which will be Navi's choice. We've got to see them bounce back, or this will be over.
So good, I want to bounce in it. It's so good, I want to slide in it. It's so good, I'm a drown in it.
You want to slide in it? I'm gonna bounce in it.
Baby, are you down, 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 down?
I want a new career.
F1 driver, Jedi, musician. Wibbs got Boo. This is my kind of office party.
I want an epic adventure.
Have you heard of the Great Circle?
What?
We've got you.
I'm traveling the world?
Hold on to your hat. Who's next?
I want to play with all the League of Legends champions.
Riot benefits. Say less. We got you.
I meant the ones in the game?
You're in the game now. Get all this and more with PC Game Pass. You know what I'm gonna say. Yeah, we got you.
Fnatic, they are back in VCT EMEA and they are here to win, apparently. Terrific performance there on Split against Navi. I am your host, Yingsu, and I'm back here with Kakuka and Billy. We had some questions, you know, wonder why they don't pick into the icebox. They go for the Split. I know you were surprised, Billy. Have they answered your questions? Are you no longer worried about this?
I'm not worried about it now. I think that, I mean, I was worried about the Split because of how we'd seen them play it last time in kickoff, right? But I think that they've obviously gone away, made some changes. They look so much more comfortable on this map.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that first half was a very good showing for their side and what they can do. I'm more surprised that it was not just the Alpha show. We were highlighting him throughout the pre-match, but it was not 100% about him. We also see the success in getting the spike down and actually transforming that into getting the round, baiting a lot with the utility. In so many occasions, we saw Navi being a little bit lost.
Yeah, the game plan was good, right? We have so many rounds we can show that, but let's take a look at round 5 first.
Yes, because I think that this one is very important. Yes, Kolanov did fat finger this ultimate, but to me it's more important what happens with it. They throw it onto vents, and they also use a Prowler, the Eye. Ruxic even ends up using the Paranoia just because of that drone and the chaos that it's causing. Also, that movement that is forced, then the way that they turn things around into their favor, the way that they use the timing to go onto sides. Leaving this in a 2v2, Shao keeping that position, trying to wait for Koala Noob to join this battle, having that knowledge and that awareness of where to play, on top of the performance that Crashes just had in comparison to kickoff.
I was absolutely impressed, yeah, and it was crazy, like you say, the amount of utility that Navi were having to feel as though they had to use to clear out spaces. That Kayak clone was getting them caught off guard all the time, but Crashes, we have to talk about Crashes.
We do, because people are like, are we going to get Optic Crashes? Are we going to get Envy Crashes? Do we want NRG Crashes? But Fnatic Crashes, though, he's finally here. I'm such a Crashes defender to the end of my life, because you've heard it from his teammates as well. He's not just a good player, he's a great teammate.
Yeah, exactly, but you cannot forget the performance that we saw on kickoff because of these high expectations and the team that he was slotting in. We thought that this was a match made in heaven. Seeing him now on the fade, playing the way that he did, the comfort, the clutches, all of these situations, is making Fnatic looking really scary.
Yeah, he was amazing. The amount of multi-kills that he was able to get as well. He was never giving away that first blood. He was just so,
he ended up with
good.
a +15.
Literally, when do we see this? So I said it before in the pre-show, you know, I was kind of tired of seeing all the stick that some of the players were getting, and Crashes was one of them. Look at these stats. This is ridiculous.
10 ADR.
And also, is there a bigger compliment than hearing Pansy, Hypoc, and Mini say Leo cosplay? That is the biggest compliment you can ever get.
Absolutely, and also put into context all the performances that we've had, no shade, but a little bit of shade, from the imports that we've brought onto the region. This is like shading, completely shadowing the rest of them.
Yeah, Floor though, you know, Floor. Floor
but
number
she doesn't
one.
count as an import.
Yeah, Floor not. Yeah, true. This is a very nice map here from Crashes, but the question is, can he keep it up as we move over to the Fracture? And also, what is Navi going to bring on Fracture? Because Billy, they wanted to go here.
Yeah, exactly. Do you know what? I absolutely think that Crashes can continue this performance onto Fracture. I think that that was something in kickoff, that this map looked really comfortable for him. We've seen so much great supportive utility coming out from the Sova, which he played last time, and he was top of the table against Foot in that last game that they played on Fracture. So I think that he can continue that momentum. This seems to be a comfort pick for him. Navi, Lord knows what they've cooked for this one for them to be able to pick into it.
They did win against Fnatic in kickoff, and thinking about Abyss being gone, it's the only map that they actually won from the ones that are remaining. Thinking about the compositions and what we're mentioning, Fnatic were the only ones in the entirety of EMEA that were running either the Sova or the Chamber in this map. Are they going to keep playing on that? Because I assume that Navi's plan works around that, works around knowing what they played previously and how they already knew how to counter.
I would like them to just yoink the good things we've seen from other regions. It's about time, you know? I know you're Fnatic. I know you feel like, oh yeah, we could just do our own thing. But yeah, at some point, I think you just have to get on the meta because the homework has been done for you already. It's you just have to copy some stuff and make it your own.
As long as I see Alpha on Chamber, I think I'll be happy.
Oh, I feel the opposite.
Really?
I don't want to see Alpha on
I
Chamber.
liked Alpha on the Chamber last time. He was able to kind of get those first engagements and then escape out. I mean, maybe against Navi's composition it didn't work out in the way in which they intended, but I like Alpha on Chamber in general.
I think there are other things that are important, not only the composition, but going into what we've seen so far. Fnatic are having very, very strong starts of the halves. In the previous map, we see them even converting 1 bonus, right, on split. During kickoff, they won 7-8 pistols, right?
Oh my goodness! We have crashes on table. Well, this makes sense. This makes so much more sense.
Wait, I actually love this. I'm not gonna lie.
Yes,
like,
right?
I don't mind Alpha on Cypher. I don't like that. But Kayak on the Neon, it honestly injected into my veins. We've not seen him on Neon in so long. He was so great on this agent on Apex last year, at Ascension last year. He can absolutely dominate on that agent. So I'm happy with this.
I am very happy with seeing the Tejo. I want to see how they comp things. I love to see the Sova gone, and actually I'm loving to see this new arc for Crashies.
This is what we wanted, right? We wanted someone like Crashies to be the one playing Tejo. And also, like I said, just nick what EDG did. I assume they watched Bangkok. I assume they liked some of it. Kayak, like you mentioned, Billy, a very, very good Neon player. But what about Navi's comp?
I mean, it worked out for them in the past, so they've obviously decided to stick with what they want, but it's easy counterable.
It's got to work here, and I can't wait to hear what Mini, I was about to say Coach Mini, Pansy and Hypog have to say about this.
Oh, nice of you to join us, Coach Mini. But yes, they have met here before, of course. This was the one that Navi bested Fnatic on 13-8. Now, Navi, not too many differences. Same comp. Fnatic, though, well, that's a difference.
I was going to say, this isn't the Fnatic they met before.
No, exactly.
This is literally a complete overhaul, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I love this composition for Fnatic. This is the first time we're seeing the Teo Breach combined for Fnatic, and for me, that's like Bosa's playground to me. Like, I think if he was Breach Teoing it up in kickoff across a lot of these maps, I would have said that Fnatic would have done a lot better during kickoff.
I think as well that plays into kind of historically the choreography that we're used to seeing Fnatic, particularly Boaster, but Fnatic excel on.
That Coach Mini style.
Yeah. They had a coach at one point that really dialed into that, and what the hell?
I'll be honest. That was Boaster. That was Boaster's shit. I'm gonna give him credit here. Like this kind of micro combo, big flashy play stuff. All the boring stuff was me. All the nice stuff that you...
What you're saying is, historically, all the good fracture stuff that we saw from Fnatic was just Boaster in server time.
Well, to be honest, Anders helped us a lot.
It was somebody else as well, yeah.
That G2 guy. Yeah, bloody hell.
No, but he's got the good, like, if we ever done an exec, I wouldn't pick where everything went.
Yeah.
He'd figure it out.
Wow, I've got something fun to tell you guys.
There isn't. There's no way.
Can we just get
There's
stage
no.
red?
This
Please,
is
production. I asked nothing of you. Can we just get stage red for me?
This is rigged. This is actually rigged.
I'll let you first back on camera if you show me the stage and it's got tech pause on it.
It's definitely not red out.
It's not red out there because it hasn't started yet. It's like a 3-minute thing. We could keep yapping. Production will hate me for this.
A pre-tech pause.
It is. I was making sure it didn't say anything rude. Pros.
Okay. We were on very different wavelengths for that. Usually I'm with you on weird stuff like that.
It's been a minute, all right? It's been a minute. Oh, hold on. I'm getting standby. What are we getting standby for? What we got? You're going to push back on camera if you turn the stage red? Alberto? Nah, he doesn't trust me. He doesn't trust me with it. He's you know what, guys? We could have had some fun, but the fun police turned up. But some lovely people were waiting for you. Which will be the analyst desk. You take this back over because, of course, there was a tech problem. Be right back.
Of course, if you put Pansy, Hypog, and Mini in a casting booth, you thought we weren't going to get any tech pauses. Preposterous. But that gives us a little bit more time to yap. And I think before we head into the pistol, you were making a very nice point about the bonus.
Yeah. We just got distracted with all the agent select. But yeah, I wanted to speak about during kickoff. Even though Fnatic did not have the highest pistol win percentage, it was on about 40%, right? Like an 8 to 12. If I don't remember, if I'm not mistaken. And then, in 7 of those rounds that they managed to win the pistol, they managed to convert the second one and also the third one. They had a 100% win rate on their bonuses if they were able to convert the first 2. So going into this one, it was something that, of course, that needs to be mentioned, that they're going to have the same kind of push that Navi actually had last year with those bonuses.
I think as well, when we look at Fracture specifically, they really, Fnatic really struggled on the attack last time, right? They only managed to get 2 rounds on the attack against Navi on this map, but I think with this composition that we've just seen, it's so much more explosive. So I'm looking forward to us getting stuck into that.
I think Mini kind of hit a nail on the head, right? If they had just done this back at kickoff, maybe things could have been different, but lack of time, preparation, nobody could predict where the meta goes.
And you've always been a strong team on Fracture,
exactly.
you know, like you think you know this map to a T, there is things that are going to be surprising to you, and there is one thing that they can always rely on if you're Fnatic, and it's the retakes, and on Fracture I think is the perfect example of it.
I like the way that they've recognized, you know, the things that could work, and they're implementing it. We're going to see it in just a second, but I want to have a conversation about Hero. Hero, he's played against Fnatic already back at kickoff. I think maybe the nerves, you know, it's not easy to go up against your former team. It was a tiny bit shaky here and there, but it's still a really good performance nevertheless, and I want to see him regain that confidence again, because Billy, there's a reason why people kind of raised their eyebrows at Fnatic when they didn't decide to keep him after champs.
Yeah, exactly. Hero is a really, really talented player, and I think that when we look at him coming up against his former team, of course there's going to be nerves there. He's going to be anxious about it, and I think that the Vise is something as well that we discussed. It wasn't something that he was super comfortable on in kickoff, and we want to see that more going forward. But looking ahead at Fracture, of course, we see him back over onto that Cypher, which I think is a comfort pick for him.
Yes.
So I would expect him to be able to perform a bit better this time around.
Yeah, absolutely, especially because during the period of transfers and everything, the off-season, sorry, I don't know, I forgot that. During the off-season, he was one of the names that was the most disputed for, I think, in the trial for a bunch of teams. He ended up settling for Navi, and actually Angel really, really wanted to have Hero on his team. I agree with you, with him being on the Cypher now, especially now that we're seeing the Breeze at Tejo, he's going to be tested, and he's going to be put in a situation where he's not comfortable, but that's how legends are made.
I just want to see him relax a bit more, you know, because the way that he played on Fnatic was so chill, relaxed, you know, there was 50,000 things going on his side, and he's just sitting on a cam, you know, doing his thing. So hopefully we get to see that, but we do have the agent select. We're going to bring that up again, so you guys remember what comms both teams selected. Let's talk about Navi's real quick, because we didn't really get that much time to, because we do have a Koala moving over to the Raze here once again. We've got Angel on the Fade, which on Split there was unfortunate timings.
Yeah, unfortunate timings, and I am a Shadow defender, and you know that I think that probably his Fade in maps that have been historically very good for Navi, like Ascent, could be the difference maker. Not up to me, up to someone else in Navi, obviously, to pick up the roles. I want to see how they interact with each other. Also, speaking about the nerves and that fat finger that we saw from Koala and those kind of things are very unlucky, especially when you're going up against an opponent the size of Fnatic. So it's going to be on everybody.
I think as well, like maybe the nerves are coming through from Navi because they got knocked out in that lower round 1 by Fnatic.
I still want to see the angry Angel. Where is the angry Angel?
Well, maybe that's why Hero's so nervous, no? Because Angel is angry.
He's so angry. Where is it? I was promised the angry Angel.
I think you might get it now. You know, it's not easy to lose on Split in the fashion, because again, the scoreline doesn't seem that way, but Billy, they did not play that bad on Split at all. I really don't think Navi played bad.
I don't think that they played terribly. I think that there was just things that they could have found more value from, like the Vice, like I say. I want to see Koala Noob on the op during this map. I think that he didn't really get to play it an awful lot during Split, and we know that he's comfortable, he's confident on the op. So I want to see more of that from him. I don't want to see Navi wasting utility in the way that they were doing on Split. Those Euro clones, like we say, were able to bait out so much. I want them to be a bit more methodical with that and actually figure out what spaces of the map they're looking to take, instead of just throwing whatever they can towards Fnatic.
I think that the calmness that we expect from Navi has to do with that utility dump that we're expecting, and actually getting the wrong read on some of the things. I think that reacting to the Euro and whatnot, and not having the full information with the stakes being so high, with getting the points, we know how important it is. We've said it so in every single year. We tell you every game matters. We come down to the last wire, but there's going to be a bunch of teams making it to champs just based off of points. So every single game is going to matter for these squads, and I think that the nerves are getting a little bit to them, and not really like. I think that this is a very different experience to what they have scrimed like.
I agree. I completely agree. And also, you gotta wonder, you know, for Angel, this is the 12th time he's faced Boaster on the server. It gets to a point where you just know each other so well. You know the tendencies. Maybe you
Can't wait for
overthink
2027
a little bit.
when we're just like, this is the.
If they're both still here, then
20th
fair
time.
play. Honestly, fair play if they're both still here. But you do get to a point where maybe there's a kind of an environment where you overthink a little bit, you know? And God knows how many times they played against each other on Split and Fracture as well. This is just a simulator at this point. But I do want to see Angel maybe bring out something a little bit different.
Yeah, I think that you mentioned the word different. We speak about Fnatic changing the composition. We also speak about Navi peeking onto this map. Yes, they did win it against Fnatic during that kickoff. That composition was different. What changes are they going to implement? Because things change a lot between having a Breach and a Deco or having a Soba and a Chamber. Like hunting Alpha is going to be literally out of the question.
I would love to know as well if this is an implementation from Scott that's just come across, right? Because we saw BBL's Icebox comp. I want to know if that was Scott before he left. So yeah, I want to know like what's going on in the coach and staff's mind and why they decided to put this together.
Well, I can't give you any answers from Scott, but I can give you some answers from Minnie. So why don't you take that question, Minnie?
I'll be honest, Yinzu, I wasn't listening.
I was listening.
You were?
You shouldn't have outed yourself like that.
Well,
I was talking to production. Production was going to go in a minute. Take it away. Take it away.
Do I think it's from Scott? To me, I think it is obvious that like Breach and Teo are the best on Fracture right now. I think it's just the best two to have. The Neon I'm interested by. I think Neon's a little bit underrated right now. I think like Miniboo, etc. Really good Neon players should still play Neon if you're not comfortable in other things. Slightly prefer the Raze generally, but I think it's absolutely fine here.
Okay.
So
How do you feel about it, Mike? You know, an idea from Scott?
Probably, yeah. Agreed. But pace here, no surprises to see it to kick things off here. Fnatic, no secrets about it on the way in, actually. The hero's got to be careful because he's going to have his hands full. Crashies deals with it effectively.
That was pretty swift here. Plan's going to be in. That was a crystal clear plan, really. Navi, once again, going to be having to be forced to play this back through, but two players working back in from Dish could cause a difference.
Real pressure point, though, for Navi to find, because Fnatic have drifted all the way away from this.
Yeah, the plan's extremely good for them in the post here.
Spot on now.
Brim Molly.
Oh, okay, he gets removed by Rooksik. This is still game on here. Kayak trying to toy with their expectations towards the door, but the smoke's in play here. They're going to have to be a little bit careful with this one. Navi have got their foot certainly in on the door, but the time is running exceptionally low. I think this is too late in the day. Fnatic simply just listening to the clock tick away. Crash, he's farming it up. Beautiful for him, and they'll be happy with that start.
Like getting that open plant, it meant that Navi were probably not ever going to win that retake.
No.
They had the aftershock, the molly, and Teo salvos.
And if they did, they needed to move in the first 15 seconds to at least pressure that utility out, draw something out, because Fnatic are just comfortable. I said Chronicle and Crashies disconnect so far from that.
We've just stopped muting them now.
We've just stopped.
Wild stuff.
Lyrically, anybody EBS knew what we were listening to earlier, but
I'm telling you
all I'm saying is I'm going back to clip it.
Yeah, can we get that on the replay at the end of the day, please, guys?
That one's going on the soundboard.
It's a classic. It is going to be thoroughly utilized here. Beyond that, though, again, this round should be pretty much a formality. You're looking at it being clean and maximizing potential again. All orbs are plenty.
Yeah, Navi stacked up for something towards B, but doesn't come through. Again, unfortunately, it's going to be Hero towards Dish that's going to have his hands full. Headshot, but yeah, dealt with swiftly.
Navi are here in time, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're here.
Shout's
got a kill. Okay. Poster got two back. All right, this... It had an element of danger for a moment. The problem is that now they're held back by smokes in very traditional positions. They've kind of lost that possibility of causing problems. Well, against 3 Vandals, they really shouldn't be able to do too much.
See Angel actually lurking all the way behind. Now the 20 HP though. Well, to even really pin anybody down, do some damage. So it looks like they might just give this up. Try and die to the spike. Don't want to feed across any progress towards these ultimates, because that's the other thing to consider. Back into a Brimstone composition as well with Teo and Breach. The ultimates are just, they're game changing.
This could be a Vandal pickup. I don't feel this is going to go wrong.
Bam. Last player standing.
Did cost them a little bit, because I don't. Yeah, I mean, I think Boaster can pick up a lot, some of the slack there, but they will lose out, I think, on one in the end. But
yeah, I mean, if Crashes was over that side, he can obviously upgrade, but yeah.
The end of the world. Clean enough, though.
I think I want to add on to what Mike was saying about the ults. I think that this map is probably the map where you're going to have the most amount of ult theory, ult strats, even anti-ults, all that stuff. And I'm really excited to see what Fnatic cooked. We know that they're kind of capable of bringing in those innovative ults.
The perfect storm sort of rounds where it's like, 3 or 4.
You can't play anywhere on site.
Exactly, yeah.
Especially this comp now. You've seen what it can do.
I mean, it's just so oppressive. Like, it's when those ultimates are up, it's like, do we commit to the retake, or but even then, that doesn't even feel comfortable because there's only ultimates on that first wave. Then you've got the util to deal with on top of that.
All the fakes so far, but he was very committed to. Koala Noob rewarded playing on top there. Going to take away Kayak, but you can see where that spike is. And as it stands, they have a completely free site. Now, obviously, they don't know that. And now it does look like Ruxic is turning around going, well, maybe there's a chance someone is walking this.
Yeah, no sound cue just yet, but I think Ruxic is also very conscious. Somebody could have lurked in. The big gap, obviously, towards drop. Smoke going down.
Same plant.
It's this open plant.
It's, yeah.
Even though it's 4v5, if he gets this down, it's very winnable.
And I want to see when Crash's util comes back around. It shouldn't be far off, I can imagine. That should be in play by the time they're under threat. Yeah, 2 seconds away. Love you, observers. So
still got the molly as well, though.
Yeah, how do you move these players? They've got to deal so much damage and so quickly and pry these players out of very passive positions. Boaster
still got the molly, though.
First, there it is. Buys him a good chunk of time. Kron now, and again, his position is absolutely divine. And a real insurance policy, because Crashy will be under pressure now. But this man looks like he thrives in it. Now, Chronicle fell short there. I thought he was on for an absolutely rip-roaring round, not to be diffuse in. Well handled by Navi, actually. It felt like Fnatic had the checkmate there.
Yeah, definitely. When we were crediting kind of the comfort and how safe that disconnected position was for Fnatic, but here it kind of just comes apart at the seams, really. And one of the key things there to note is obviously how late in the day this has come across. So saying the window of opportunity comes in that first kind of 10 to 15 seconds, right? Either in the retake or as the spike is being planted.
I think the cycling from the post plant was slightly off. I think Boaster should have been further away. Didn't have to use the molly so early. Save that for later. Let the salvos go in first. And I think the layering would have been better then.
Excellent. Yeah, the window after the fuse actually comes through is 4 seconds, right? So they can stall out a little longer. Bit of pace change here, though, Lauren.
Yeah, they've just shifted up a gear. Straight away going to use the tail to clear out the site and then just probably take sight off the back. But again, they still won't have sand. They're not going to have anything else here. A lot of the setup's still in play. But tap on the spike, no reaction yet. Boaster.
Smokes are going to drop, they've got to make use of it.
Yeah, they kind of got to get this done now. Maybe pausing for a fight, they've won it. Okay, Ruxic falls. Hero, though, going to pick up the battle. Takes it towards sand. And now we're in an all-out brawl. This feels a little bit out of sorts. A different plant this time.
Spike planted.
Actually, Crashes, though, going to find a crucial kill onto Hero. Chronicle down to just 19 HP. Fault line will come through. A reposition, yes, but no semblance of safety just yet.
No, almost none. Kron just buying those precious seconds on the site. Alpha to catch the cross up by Dish.
Clock ticking away, though.
Salvo's online.
Yeah, it's all about time now. Shao gonna get past the first step. They're gonna know about Crashies, but he's got the util. Can he play it perfectly? 11 HP. He can't make mistakes. Oh, and it's just not clean enough. Koala Noob on the case. Close, but no cigar.
And the timing as well. Crash is nearly catching just the perfect moment to swing onto this. But it seems that this is the pace change round for Fnatic, and they can't pin down the plant in the window you expect them to. On those first smokes going down, when they have a little bit of leeway towards site. It seemed a little, the pause seemed a little strange. The tap on the spike, they're expecting util to come through or somebody to burst from the smoke potentially, I'm not sure.
I think they were trying to pinch Sands early and that kind of got a bit labored. But I think the big deal for me there was that post plant. I don't think they should be losing that post plant.
Certainly did that. I am a little surprised in how quickly Navi have been dismantling these post plants. That's 2 rounds now. And this round should be pretty well handled. The equipment diff is in play. Ruxic actually only 1 away from all. We're going to start seeing that cycle hit for Navi now. very close by to some big boy ults.
Almost a moment here for Alpha to creep up. Heroes fan Kayak on the other side, though. Going to be a massive swing, but we'll find a freebie onto Ruxic.
For being a little slippery, Hero's probably pretty uncomfortable now.
Cage trigger.
And the ult's going in. Hero's trying to just dip around this. As Koalanu popped his ult again pretty early here. This feels like it wasn't necessary, but we are getting down to the thick of things. This is a 2v3. It's certainly not impossible as Crashies and Chronicle out of nowhere, putting Angel on notice. A dip up towards tower.
Rolling Thunder available here as well. Plenty of utility for Chronicle to work with, but
They have no idea where he is at the moment. This could be a free first kill, and then Kron's HP gets brought into question. Can he play it ice cold? Can Angel read this right? The Horn gonna go in. He knows nothing so far. Oh, takes a little bit of look. Kron, he's gonna invest it. There's nowhere to get away from this one. Angel has to suffer
got the
through
arc
it.
shock as well, though, so he can burn the clock down here.
Chronicle doesn't even to look at the spike so far. Listens for the tap. Util, is it good? It absolutely is. Angel gets punished, and Chronicle doesn't even need to look at the spike.
I know it's like a really micro thing, but Chronicle just peeking before he uses any util wins him that. Like,
Absolutely.
if he used the Aftershock or the ult before he peaks,
Bingo.
he doesn't win that.
Because it's another 2.5 seconds, 2 seconds that Angel has to second guess himself.
So the free shot as well, just a bit of damage.
Beautifully done. All the tools they needed
Angel,
here.
are you drunk, bro? Angel, are you drunk, bro? Did you take a beer, bro, or what?
Classic Fnatic reaction on the coaching cam. That's a mini special.
Void of emotion.
That was a pay save card thrifty though. One that they probably shouldn't have had. I feel like we were kind of seeing Navi building right back into this, dealing with those post plants well, trying to find solutions. And right now they're only finding problems. And Ruxic's got to fight forward. There's no way back from that. Crashies on the punish. They roll out the red carpet. These ults coming in seem a bit questionable. Koalanu trying to gap close, but he's been seen.
You've got to be really careful here. Crashies actually find the first, but second.
Spike down. Attacker spawn.
Not just yet, Alpha on the cleanup. It's just Angel left standing once again. Revealed here, and actually might be caught on the backside, but Chronicle unable to pin him down before escaping.
Spike planted.
All right, Angel. 1v3 this time. The odds are getting worse. And not much to be done there for him. Fnatic starting to get a little bit of space now.
I think playing with that space really well. Again, another that's almost indicative of a pace change. Beautiful placement here on the fault line and the orbital strike. There's no escape from that, forcing out the kill once again.
It's also Crashies again.
Nice shot,
Like he's 10 to
nice
4,
fight,
he's having
guys.
another good map.
Nice,
Another
group
Leo
up.
map. Doing really, really well. No surprises to see a Navi timeout here. Again, a couple, two back-to-back defuses, sure, but again, I think once Fnatic kind of got into that first ult cycle and having those tools available, they show what they do best, to be honest with you, which is, it's that precision. The value on investment. It's not necessarily a kill or something, but it's always space garnered.
So then from Navi's perspective, what do you do here? Because it felt like they got an answer to those post plants, right? They were digging out those positions, making Crashies quite uncomfortable, even on that 10-4. But since then, it's still fallen away. Mini, where does your mind go? We do see a switch up with Koalanu at the very least. Is that enough of a solution?
Just the op? Potentially. I would like to see them a bit more aggressive. We've only seen them rotate, I call it like sideways. We haven't seen them explore like the north or south too much. Especially if those post plants keep coming in. Like, you need flanks to kind of deal with them sometimes. So I think a bit of north side or south side exploration would be good. And I want to see from Crashies here, do Fnatic have another layer to this tail? We've already seen it once with a fast A. Do they have multiple layers, multiple strats to bring to the table?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
This is Navi's map of choice, so I guess we kind of just find out the depth, right, of how prepared a Fnatic here. They look good, they're coming in with the composition that we like the idea of. For now, this is the adaptation here. Koalanu with that operator in play, or at least part of it.
I was going to say is, I thought actually, because they do force their way through. Koala rewarded. It's Alpha on the other side of that.
That's dreamy, but this man's confident. Crashy's on the swing, and now suddenly Angel's uncomfortable. You can see it. Oh! Crashy's with the little 1-2 step, making it look so smooth here. Navi already left in tatters. What are you meant to do in this? You can see a little bit of a play coming in from Xiao. Slipping through early, but the trade in place. Kayak still holding up close towards site. Maybe trying to get a little slippery in the smokes, but Navi down to just 2 players. Waiting for that plant now. Crashy's puts it in play. Once again, we're in the post plant. Once again, you got that Teo utility. Once again, you've got Crashies on a heater. This is beautiful to watch. As Hero, quiet. Nothing to be seen on the cam. Promise you that. And he's just got to face the music or try and save, but
She's
man,
on a 4K as well.
this is good to see.
This is the Crashies of old. Almost the expectations of a player like this coming across to the region is delivering here today.
I want to see it from that POV the whole way through. Oof.
I thought you were saying the Teo util can come in, but instead he just faces and
Just
kills him.
differ.
Yeah.
No, I'd win.
Again, he used to kind of have that brute force. He was always a clutch player, Crashies.
Oh, God, yeah.
Didn't need to use that Teo either that round, so again, still have that.
And actually, the other thing you were talking about, that was the adaptation from Navi. I'm not sure if the timeout really was just to address kind of a tilt loss in the anti-eco, whether or not that was actually more of a standard look that we'd see, or something that they've picked up on and wanted to address on the fly. So that's a real question going forwards.
Oh. Now, seeing where the spike is, this may not be awful, but seeing how far up they've gotten and found no resilience, it may not be a nice... And he's still winning. How is Alpha still getting away with this? He's taken away Hero, and no one else is going to stop them. This is just the freest round so far.
Got a Guardian here in the hands of Shout. Not much else, to be honest with you. I mean, Ultimate, sure, as well, Rolling Thunder, but do you want to invest it in this sort of round?
Spike planted.
Go of it. Boaster's going to be caught in place, but the Molly then denies any push-up coming out from the canteen. Kayak this time going to be noted. Don't know if he gets dealt with, though. And now they got to go... Oh!
What?
Navi, where's this come from? Flooding back on in, but Kron, the Guardian of the Cross, denies the next step forward. And Xiao trying to find his man, he can't. It got close, but again, just slipping away.
I mean, Navi have done fantastically well to find 3 there with the inventory they had at their disposal. But Fnatic stand strong on the site, able to clean things up, Mini.
Yeah, I think Fnatic went to go for a triple swing to save one of the players getting aftershocked or something, and it looked good and coordinated, but Navi hit everything. That from Kron was beautiful, though.
Clean up as well. And yeah, curious really of
Hey!
what was...
Get off my lawn!
We're being blessed with the player reacts today.
Honestly, we can just get that.
I mean, it's always the case with Boaster.
It's true. Showman. I mean, with genuinely looking happier too.
Yeah.
Kickoff.
Yeah, definitely. The energy feels much better
Whenever
today.
I talk to them, they all seem just happy. And I
never do them like that.
I don't remember them being like that. Not in my time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Was that because you were on the other end of the mic?
It was me, yeah. I just caused depression for everyone. You'll feel it soon, man.
Oh. Well, yeah, you're in the greatest company, yeah.
Well, good luck, Navi. Held on these 2 rounds here, and it feels like we're kind of looking a bit like Split, isn't it? I need to see more here. That's not bad, though. Catching Kron's pretty solid. Koala Noob's been probably the one to keep my eyes on so far. He's been the one posting the numbers.
Oh, yeah, definitely was the case on map 1 as well.
Yeah. For looking for opportunities, though, here. And he's got friends on the way.
See now, I think actually...
30 seconds left.
I'm not sure if Angel would have been close enough, but the confirmation will come through. I imagine there with the smoke coming down from Ruxic. Cut out here, but they forced their way through. I was going to say, not checking sight fully.
This is going to be punished, Crashies. You're not going to go nuclear again, because look at the time, 10 seconds. Ruxic plays this so well, not overstepping, holding that really precious area on the site, and it felt a little short-sighted there from Fnatic. I don't know what the plan was.
Like I said, I think Angel's probably caught a footstep or something which draws out the smoke from Ruxic. It makes it way harder to commit to towards drop.
I think Alpha was probably calling across some support. Like he could sniff out there, it felt very weak on that side of the map. But execing from Dish has never been... That you had to see, they had a neon wall and a Cypher case just to get out. Like that level of util just to get out of that tiny choke. And still, it's difficult. Nice shot at the start.
In certain situations, it almost plays against them as well. They're cutting their own sight lines to clear these deep angles on site.
It's not a good place to execute.
I'm gonna buy.
He's gonna buy an orb.
He's gonna buy an orb.
Got you. Koala 10 kills. He is leading the way for Navi.
Boaster's put one too, though.
Now look, the thing is, if I flame Boaster a little bit with it, he always does really well. So I feel like I'm worried if I stop doing it. But right now, Koala Noob's the one to be on it. Quick draw of blood, an assassination, and certainly no attempt. It was job done. But Fnatic creeping behind this.
I'm surprised they get caught off by that. We've seen the AWP being used before. The kayak in the middle, nothing.
Yeah, like they were ready, but
Angel's rewalking this.
Now,
I was going to say, yeah, he's tucking in, sure, but still doesn't feel comfortable.
Don't like it. Don't like Angel, please. Boaster's looking for a pick here, but no one's really giving him much of a fair fight, right? You look at these positions, they're pretty tucked in. Maybe Shao would swing or something, but these... Oh my god, Angel. God.
I mean, Chronicles won it, sure, but the crunch comes through. Navi come out on top here, finding 3 kills, yeah.
It's fine.
Angel gives his life for the cause, I guess.
Stop it. I can't reach the mute button to laugh in time. Yeah. I don't know really what to make of that round. It felt weird.
I think, again, it's Fnatic are losing opening picks. And when they're not losing opening picks and get time to go into these big execs, it's looking beautiful. But in the 4v5s, it's difficult.
Well, yeah, and you notice it as well, almost kind of stood out in no man's land, right? If you're just holding to wait for the moment to stack up ahead of this execute, there's almost no reason to give away an opener like that. I mean, you've got 3 people there holding the walk up potentially.
Again, my eyes turn towards Koala Noob. This guy has been pivotal for them, but I'm seeing ult in hand here. Joel.
Got to be careful because orbital strike and the fault line.
Okay, it's actually Kayak's ult going to go through first. Trying to lead the way towards the A side. Koala Noob is still around, holding the space up towards Dish. There's no late presence yet. They're going to run short, and they've got the plant.
No, they don't.
Wow.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Chronicles fallen.
It's a bit obvious at this point, this plant.
Yeah. Shao will find Alpha as well. Now they've got a paint shell to come through to deny even further potentially, but Spike will finally go down.
Again, those sort of moments, it is credit towards Angel for that heads-up work that they've been going for that open plant when they can. Kayak can't escape the site. Navi keeping him locked in. And Crashes, you've been good, but I don't think you've been this good. You're going to bank on Boaster. Okay, he does go down, but the molly just too wide in the end. Navi, gotta say it, reading this well, starting to find a road to recovery now. The scoreline looking far more reasonable.
Yeah, I do have to point that plant out again, though. I think you're in the middle of nothing at a certain point.
Yeah, again, and especially here, because you have the Rolling Thunder and the Orbital Strike, I think you could probably invest a little more utility ahead of the plant, right, to force off some of these positions. I mean, it just so happens the Seas comes through, so it's a squishy target regardless. But yeah, I think you're right. I think Fnatic can probably dig a little deeper, maybe invest a little more to rely on the Rolling Thunder and the Orbital Strike in the post plant. So
I think I would just plant in the corner at this point. It's not.
Yeah, the safer plant towards backside, sure.
Exactly, yeah.
One was going well. How about we get 2?
Reach and Brim up for this last round.
How do you feel about double ops? How do you feel about the word op, Mini?
Op.
I heard you rant about it. That's why I bring it up.
I don't know why, but I say it.
Yeah, I don't know why either. What's that?
No idea.
Koala on the hunt again.
He's got a man on the other side. He's been good at the... Oh, Alpha. This feels like a little cerebral battle of some brilliant players.
Head of the cage, though.
But does Alpha consider that? I feel like he might even...
He's gonna tuck. He's gonna tuck.
I saw Alpha use all of his strength to not peek that one.
Fighting his inner demons.
Come on, it's great out here. Crashes. Oh, he can't get away. Oh, he's just trying to bound out of this. No, oh, Koala Noob. It was so good. And then it wasn't. Hero just in no man's land, plays it forward, finds Alpha without his hat on. And now we're into a 4v3. This has gone topsy-turvy in a second. Boaster's having a go in spawn.
Spike not coming through just yet. Chronicle looking for it. No comfort just yet for Fnatic. Can't really set up. Chronicle gonna look to trade off ultimates here.
Yeah, there it is. Gonna send that flying. Gonna try and buy him a couple of seconds. And a couple of seconds they should have, but Hero, the slow approach through the underpass.
Still have the molly, still have some utility here for Chronicle as well.
Now we got to look at the timing, the layering. We were talking about this before, but it's Hero, it's Ruxic just walking it. No chance on that util.
Boaster gives up that position just to come through and try and put the molly down, but it's just a split second. That's their demise. But a 6-6 half here feels almost miraculous for Navi to come out and recover this.
Yeah, I like that. Navi, this looked like Fnatic should have taken this half big, but Navi finds the momentum at the end.
They certainly do. Koala Noob lighting it on fire. Beautiful from him, but we're not done yet. Well, on one side of things here, Koala Noob doing fantastically, 14-7, bringing Navi really with a new lease of life. But Vinny, you were loving the neons.
Love it.
Oh, love it when a player gets to bring it underrated.
Can we run the clip back, Andy? EVS got the clip.
EVS, let's...
I think what I said was underrated, but I prefer Raze.
I don't think that was what you said.
Oh, okay.
Here's the replay.
Okay. I think this is the unfortunate reality of Neon sometimes.
What do you think of this? What's that then?
That's mean. That's why.
Well, why are you doing that on the telestrator? Why would you highlight?
Hey. This is what happens on Neon Attack sometimes. You have a bad game, it snowballs hard. So hopefully Kayak can bring it up.
Okay. I can just sniff him out of the corner.
Well, Koala seems to, yeah.
No, he's actually on one. Like, we saw glimmers of really good looks from Koala Noob, but it didn't...
Angel's in the rat spot. This could go horribly wrong.
No.
So.
It's good!
It's good!
It's good! It's good! Oh, it's always God knows what with Angel.
Not even close.
The gods just flip a coin and it's either beautiful or an absolute tragedy. That time, stunning. Look at this.
One enemy remaining.
Oh. You love to see
Clean.
I'm shitting on these guys, bro. I'm at a 30 bomb this game, easy.
Shit on.
Okay.
I mean,
he's halfway there already, yeah.
Absolutely cooking.
And I think that's reflective in the way that he approaches that towards Dish. As soon as he gets the opener, he's charging up towards Boaster. Again, if the rest of Navi can kind of get behind that sort of energy. Brilliant way to stretch their legs here in the early rounds of the second half.
It does feel like there's a bit of a dip between kind of Koala Noob and the rest of the side as well.
Hey, I'm fine with it. Absolutely fine with it. If it's going to mean round wins and they've clawed back from what was it? Was it a 6-2 lead?
I think it might have been.
Yeah, I think it's 4 at the end there for Navi.
And if he is being supported and set up to succeed, then brilliant.
That's not great.
That's not what we'd like to see. You're going to get these from Navi, right?
Yeah.
It won't happen to Koala Noob. Kayak's only got 2.
I mean, Kayak has to find something here. Well, it's not going to happen. Would have been a big kill, though, to find that with the classic up close and personal.
Well, suddenly it gets possible. Relax, relax.
There you go.
Now he's farming. It was against pistols. You know,
I mean, that's how you get to the 30 bomb, though. You got to
yeah.
you got to take advantage of the Eco Cobra, yeah.
That's Durka's career. What?
That's
Hello?
that is out of pocket.
I'm kidding. I love Durka. He's my favorite.
Just because Mini's here.
Durka. That's a, like I said, bold target, but that's not what I should be saying.
That's even worse than what she said.
But you here?
And I'm right here.
It's wild.
Together.
Friendly fire on the cast.
19-7 though. At some point soon, I will be asking the observers for the Koala Noob.
Don't do it. It did not pay off yesterday.
No, it didn't. And they've got the Angel to spite me. Oh, anyone but Koala Noob there currently observing. Fair play to you. I'll accept that. For now, it will be leading the way. No challenge to be had on site.
But Fnatic pushing out of A main, it's conceding the site, trying to do some chip damage, and they've got us killed through the smoke. Watch out for the Neon on the flank here. Also gets 2.
And look, Koala Noob's gone down, which is everything, right? That is your headhunter removed, the ult removed.
Angel's tacked up as well, down to 54 HP.
This gets difficult. They've got to find someone else to step up and find the impact.
2 big kills.
That's what you needed. Angel and Hero in unison. Send off the ult as well. Boaster now put to the test. Brutal. Oh! Stop getting kills through smoke! I thought it's just Stewie 2K who could do these sort of things through smokes, but apparently it's Boaster as well with the 3K himself. He's just saying this. No one's stopping him right now. Nothing is denying him. Has to take the fight, and he does. Against the odds. Against all common sense. They pull it off.
I mean, it's beautiful. Like, to me, this is... I know this is strange, but this is exactly what we saw from the last game for Fnatic Navi. Navi going for arcade default. But this time around, Fnatic wanting to play this kind of off-site B approach.
Those 2 kills. Sorry to
can't
cut you off.
see them.
Those 2 kills were absolutely. The third was criminal as well. What was it on split? He was getting
doing the same.
Ghost headshots through the smoke.
I mean, make...
I think I'm glad she checked his PC.
So I'm happy for Fnatic that they're identifying.
I feel really sad for you. I don't know which.
That sitting on sites is not a good plan. Sitting off sites. I know it looks stupid that he just got 2 or 3 through smoke, but that's kind of...
Yeah.
Doing that damage through smokes is very common.
Kayak, he's having an absolute rotter of a game, but Navi gonna just double down on this, right? Big punish. Gotta be furious about how that last one went.
But this commitment's so deep. I mean, the first couple of bits of, first few corners, sorry, they get cleared here. Hold on to the space. That's fine. You don't have to convert that into anything. Especially so early on with no contact elsewhere. Hero. Oh, well, Alpha's on the same agenda now as well. But a 2v4 presented.
Spike planted.
Koala Noob on the showstopper. If Navi do want to throw a couple of bodies into this, yeah.
Do you watch chess much?
No.
I know a little bit of chess. Why?
I was going to say, was there a step?
This is really not appropriate.
No, no. You're not going there, are you?
Well, no, the more that this becomes a bit like a co-stream, the worse I behave.
No, this is not acceptable.
No, I was just alluding to it because you knew what it was very quickly. Because these shots through smoke have been happening a lot. Any knowers will understand the reference.
That's wrong.
Well, I'm just saying, there seems to be some consistency here. Might have to do a little cough check later, we'll see. As it stands, 9-7. That's the second time. No, don't worry, observers. I see you've shown us that several times now. It's not gone well.
I saw it, I deliberately didn't say anything when we saw each other around.
A little bit of niceness there. Give him a little bit of kindness.
Don't they need it? Well, they don't actually, to be honest with you.
Kayak could do with a little bit of kindness.
Yeah, I mean, this...
He loves it, he does.
It's really rough, because the situations in which we're seeing him getting...
I'm still stunned about this chess reference, to be honest. Mike doesn't get it, but this is criminal.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
I mean, if you want to elaborate, here's the time. We're time out here. Go nuts.
I'd moved on.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about the game, Mini. So
That's not.
I don't know why you're dwelling on that, to be honest.
Watch, I'm trying to counter the neon thing. I'm trying to. There's a war. Neon versus chess.
Oh, you can go ahead and.
Go, yeah, the stage is yours.
We should start this.
He wants to leave to the desk again.
Yeah. Yinsu, will you take me back, please?
I'll do any telestrator, it's fine. Yeah.
Just to come back to that same point, this composition, again, it's to put Kayak at the forefront, right, in the action, in the thick of it. But I mean, we're seeing a number of times. I know you can't even really say that, you know, he's losing out on gunfights, but the commitments are coming through. That previous example, it's so deep and it's really necessary in that sort of situation. They've cleared the space that you would want to. At the start of the round outside A main, you get a confirmation that nobody's holding up close and personal, but then to go and give away the kill to Hero so deep next to ropes, it's a little strange for me. I think that's probably an indication, an indication of, you know, a desperate attempt to get Kayak online, to find the value from the neon. But if he's just not getting, okay, I'll stop talking.
What's this?
A little more tempered, but it's Hero again.
There's no help. He's just on his own, and he just gets absolutely sat down by Hero. Minnie, do you like that?
I quite enjoy the confidence to be that far behind and still.
I mean, hey, if you're 2-15 and you still commit to this stuff, yeah, but.
I respect it.
But like we were just saying previously, though, Fnatic, how good they look. Yes, Broster's getting 3 through smoke, but how comfortable it looks sitting off site, conceding, and kind of just taking a pause.
Because overall, right now, Navi are at the helm of this ship, running it back well. Boastercore trying to drift through the smoke. Navi completely catches them unawares. Yeah, your big damage dealer, Crashies, is here, but it feels too late anyway. A 2v5 post-plant like this, no shot. So we've got to kind of come back into this with fresh eyes, right, Minnie? Because they're hitting a brick wall here. And we complimented a lot about Fnatic, and we can't just put it on the fact that Kayak is not having much working for him, but the approach, if anything.
Yeah, just to interject there, I don't think this rides on Kayak not delivering. I don't think that's. I think there's a few opportunities he could have done more and hasn't, but I don't think that's why we've seen Navi able to claw back to a 9-7.
Come out of a timeout call with a fairly aggressive approach, I quite like, but you know the Brimo and Tail are online, so like, these are things that can be used in these pushes or are saved for like a retake situation, and it felt a bit dry.
And again, the spacing between what if Kayak's got opposition on the other side of that? What's happened? Are we just riding on some? And again, I hate I'm saying this, the numbers out loud, but are we riding on somebody who's 2-15 to come out and win a 1v2 or something there?
Oh, this is a nice spot.
So it feels a little, whether or not that's something that was just discussed in the timeout, like you said, and
where to set up shop?
Yeah, it's a little bizarre to me.
And again, credit for this resilience from Navi and Koalanuv continuing his warpath towards that 30 you wanted, but as it stands, he might have enough rounds to do
I was going to say, the game might be over before he gets a chance. Already up at 20 and 8. The opener here in round 18 as well. Navi will pause. No further aggression here from Fnatic, but we know the equipment not really suiting it too much. So it's still key ultimates available here. But unlikely to see it here unless Fnatic can find a kill or something to cling on to.
I think my worry is that as soon as Fnatic if they are going to get back into this game, that the ults will be coming online for Navi too.
Slam dunk round isn't a million miles away if they do have to go to that length. B, take the tour. No hurry on this, but leaning back towards that A site.
Yeah, and actually, just to note it as well, already going to have bodies in rotation. Bosa's already back here to get inside the smoke. So that was Angel to deal with him.
Yeah, Angel really heads up about that. Just playing on the edge of the smoke, maybe expecting someone to play through. There are still players. That's not clean enough, really. But how is there no help there coming out for Crashies? I'm surprised he's still alive. Banging shot, but the numbers still sitting in the hands of Navi in the post plant now. Trying to get disruptive. Alpha with a classic.
Yeah, now with Navi finding the kill on the other side of things, it's going to be difficult for Alpha to even find a consolation.
I think the account just gets shut here, right? I don't think there's much more to it. Navi, and I'm very impressed with Navi because, again, Fnatic looked quite tricky, right? They were coming into this looking quite good. We had, as said, Crashies on that heater looking fantastic.
But also, just to come back to this is also Fnatic on a composition that kind of echoes what historically they've been very good at. So further credit to Navi in that regard.
Getting closer and closer to the previous scoreline of when they met last. That 13-8, which did go Navi's way. For now, 11-7. 3 maintaining themselves standing alive here and just building towards those ults.
I think it's also that 13-8 score. It was a lot about that defense, I think. They were struggling there, from what I remember.
Down A.
And again, not looking too hot here.
And the one player who really stood out to us in that series at the time was Chronicle. He was the one who made it even look as close as it did.
Well,
Crashies this time around.
I was going to say, just to say, Crashies actually sat at 21 and 14. Maybe else some double digits yet from Fnatic.
Hold on. Switch up here coming in. Operator is in play. We've got one on the other side, and Kuala been lethal with it. Crashies ult ready. Is this a little set piece? Oh my god, they're going in on this. Is there anywhere to hide from it? Chronicle's already going to find Angel. I mean, the layering there with the Teo salvos coming in could have been a bit more, but honestly, Navi making it through that with only 1 loss and 1 casualty feels fortunate.
Chronicle still started with a Rolling Thunder as well, though.
I love that Fnatic didn't even have to risk anyone there. Like, everything was util. The aftershock at the end through sewers. It's beautiful.
The meta haters will not enjoy that. But I do see what you mean. It was very well crafted. That was a little, it feels like one of those cards you can pull out once. Don't get to probably run it too many times, but you can see them trying to toy with the expectation of where Navi ends.
I was going to say, yeah, Koala has just picked up on that sound cue, so he's already rotating on the north side of the map. Going to be here to complement the backside of this Navi execute.
Still difficult with Alpha here. He's got a fair fight, but Hero on the run-up does better.
Few situations where Heroes looked really good as well.
Ooh, big ult though should slow things down.
30 seconds left.
It's very early on. Rolling Thunder posted as well.
Yeah, they're going in on this one. Just about everything poured on. Surely Rooksik's dead. I mean, Kayak's going to find that one. Fnatic fighting back 15 seconds now. Not much to play with, but Koala Noob still breathing. There's a threat, but I don't think they can change the outcome now. Xiao still giving it a go, but Kayak finally hitting a couple shots here.
Now Operator suiting already here. Maybe an indication of slowing things down on the side of Fnatic. Not going to invest too much in putting him in the thick of it. The tip of the spear, so to say.
It was a costly round from Fnatic, though, using
a lot of ultimates,
3 big power ults there. Something as well that we've not really talked about is Alpha on this Cypher. So, like, Chamber last time, I don't think he was super comfortable.
No.
But Cypher, he hasn't played Cypher in a long time, and I know it's not his favorite way to play.
What do you mean by that?
He doesn't mind Killjoy, but Cypher is never his favorite. And in this round, he went for the site hold by himself. Prime Alpha, you might see a couple of kills there, but not getting one there. So something to keep my eye on.
Well, Noob, pacey. How far does he take this? He's been confident the whole game, and rightly so. Big boy impact and a quick take towards Sand.
Back to that already. Getting ahead of the curve.
Out of charges.
Here to potentially stop anybody slipping the net on the other side of things. Hero, which I was going to say last round, in a couple of situations that looked really good here on map 2.
Drone gone as well. Crashies on the A site trying to re-clear through A main just to double check what this is. They've had contact now on kind of polarizing sides of this map.
Yeah, on the flip side, I think Hero on the Cypher, very cerebral. He's been able to draw rotations across. He's comfortable by himself. Having a good game as well.
They're quite often planting the seed of doubt for Navi. Ayak, though.
He had impressive impact previous to now. Starting to warm into the game a bit. It is late, but he's found his man this time. Buying a couple of seconds. Boaster on the backup takes away Angel. Just overwhelmed in the end. Kayak does fall, but they still have Crashies on the site. Hero comes in from Dish. Gets what he needs done. A 3v2. Crashies still holding on here. Pivotal in his positioning. And Fnatic making it up to 9. Breaking the trend now from Navi.
Almost breaking the rhythm that Navi have established. Like I said, ever since that first half, been firmly in control, even with the switch over, and I think that's probably why they believe we're going to see a Navi timeout. times now, and yeah, Fnatic having the confidence to swing some smokes. You know, it's not two people dead ahead of the site execute. They actually have a fighting chance of some of these.
Again, 2 kills. I'm doubling the kills every round.
There you go. But at least it's not too phased by it, right?
He's in good spirits.
Exactly.
Which actually does make a big difference, because it's very easy to get kind of down on yourself, and it almost then makes the problem bigger than it is. But him feeling at least comfortable enough to make a nice little bit of light of it. And again, he is doing better, Mini.
Yeah, and I think that it also ties into that point we were saying earlier, that everyone on the team seems in light spirits, you know. Previously, if I was coaching, maybe not so high.
They wouldn't be, huh?
No, misery was the way forward.
The common denominator.
It was me. It was all me.
I do feel a little bit worse these days. I don't know. But let's kind of then look at Navi, right? Because they've now been hindered a couple of times, and the big adjustment is that Kayak is starting to find impact. This operator is in play. This feels like it shouldn't be a puzzle they can't solve, though, right? It is a, I don't want to say a blunt object, but it's an obvious way to adjust. What do they have to try and clear this through? What do they have as ways to try and facilitate towards the site?
Like, well, Navi have that camera and Fade Prowler to make sure that they don't get picked off early. And as long as if they hear one shot, they need to just accelerate quickly. Don't let Kayak get more than one shot off. Or
smother him, basically. Don't give him a chance to reset and take another open angle.
Cage triggered.
See if trend does continue for him.
Not spotted by that cam yet.
Yeah, immediately on the X-ray, nope.
Prowler did just go in, and I'm pretty sure that just got cleared. So they know where he is. Now we've got to look at the pace. Do they pick it up? Do they still try and smother on the site? They do, but he still stands. Silenced, but still answering the question. Kwalnoob going down, who was your big man for Navi? But Kayak now starting to warm into it. They've thrown everything at him, finally goes down, but he's got them a man advantage.
Exactly the sort of situation we were talking about as well. Able to reset comfortably off that first peak. Coming through, yeah.
Oh,
Crashies, wow.
Spike down.
Rips the head off Hero.
Player standing.
Angel finds one, but it's Crashies again.
Hold on. This guy, he's on 15 to you know, 15 kills here. He's quietly been working away, giving himself a little bit of time to play with to get the plant, but a 1v2 ain't.
He came off it.
He's got to go back. Oh, that's
just
agonizing. Gut-wrenching. Now he's got to go against the odds. Uphill. Nearly feels impossible. Oh, man. That's unfortunate.
Yeah,
that could have been different.
Really, really rough situation. I didn't even catch, actually, whether or not there was a footstep or something to make him second guess. But, I mean, Kayak said it himself, I'm doubling my kills every round, guys. There's another 2 kills for him.
Yeah, I thought that, to be honest with you, the past 2 rounds, I thought that Kayak was in very uncomfortable positions.
Well, yeah, not necessarily bad spots, but positions where he can be pressured heavily with an operator.
Like, he's on site. Getting on site on this map, especially with an operator, as a Neon, is not that common.
So 11 to 10 now, Navi in the lead, but the gap has started to close. The answers have not been as forthcoming as maybe expected. Kwalnoob trying to indicate presence, pressure. He's already backing away.
See the re-clear here from Fnatic, knowing now that Navi aren't going towards A.
Kayak once again up towards Tower. He's gifted one. Koala slipping ahead of the smoke.
They don't have the cure to this poison. They can't get around it. They can't figure it out. How do they clear this guy? They're going the other way. Maybe the classic CNED answer of just avoid is all they got really to play with. But Navi look lost here.
Yeah, they're almost second guessing themselves here with the second ping of the neural theft.
Oh, and I like this. The slow, steady re-clear. It's exactly what the doctor ordered.
Hats off to that man, honestly, to turn this around now. And again, numerically, it doesn't look fantastic, but it's a total swinging performance.
Hey, we said it about the likes of Kwalnoob when he started to pick up. I have to say it about Kayak as well. In-zone flawless here at the least expected time, 11-11.
The funds dwindling as well for Navi. He said even, I wouldn't say a broken purchase, but definitely cracks in the purchase in that previous round. Again, this is even to fault Koala in that situation. He's isolated ahead of the smoke. He has to drift ahead of it.
One enemy remaining.
Another two.
Yeah, a course correction here
Another
from
one.
Fnatic.
I don't know if you can take it.
Next line.
I don't know, I'm not gonna, do you know that one, maybe? He's just completely ignored.
Sorry,
He's ghosted
I'm
me.
so
I've
locked
been
in.
ghosted
I'm
on the
locked in.
caster booth.
What?
Absolute mod check, thank you. Vertical thing is just looking at Mini, literally.
Oh my god. Angel, where were we? They're flying to the site. Alpha's just like, no, I'm going to dip away. I'm off ski. They can have the site. I'll wait for you guys. Hero's getting curious, though. Wants to try and secure some space. But they're not planting yet. They're actually going for the similar open plant. It looks like punished by Alpha on the first, but Shao with the trade. Trying to dig their heels in here. Macron, it's gorgeous from him. Hero now. He was trying to keep them secure, at least from CT for a moment. Now he's fallen. Fnatic taking the lead in almost the final hour here.
It's going to be rough now. Navi are going to dig deep to find a response to this. A beautiful crunch here on the back of the spy camp. Chronicle with 2 beautiful kills. Oh.
Okay, it was 1. Not good enough.
But yeah, I mean, still, you look at it, he's 11 and 19, but the last, what, 5 or 6 rounds has been a huge effort from him.
Yeah, this defense has been pretty much him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Launching smoke.
Oh, he also,
one.
sorry, I think Crash is still at 25 and 16
Yes,
or
he
something.
is. Yes, he is. But can Navi get the critical 1? Get into OT. The angle looks better. I thought it was better for Hero.
He tagged.
Does he go for this then? Does he speed up on it? He fancies it. He's confident. Bounds forward, punishing Hero. The man who's worn that jersey before. Who knows how this feels. But now, Navi down to 4 players. They've got the plant, they've got the site, but they got blinded. What? I've never seen anything like that. Koalanu blinking away the blind, gets 2, bringing it back within touching distance.
3v2 now for Fnatic. Still got the operator in hand for Kayak. He's in a position to do some damage, creeping here, but only 20 HP.
Step by step, they get closer. Angel cleared, no chance. And now on to Shao. Has to face the music. Face the man who came alive in the end for Fnatic.
What a turnaround from Kayak, honestly. Again, he said it himself, I'm doubling my kills, but it's the value of some of these kills that he's found. As soon as that pace change comes from Fnatic, play a little deeper. Like I said, uncomfortable positions.
Yeah.
But he absolutely delivers.
Like he was fighting, like, what's the saying? Fighting in a telephone box? I don't know the saying.
Not familiar with it.
Send it.
There we go.
Yeah,
Send it.
it's a
There we
phrase
go.
now.
Yeah, and I think respect to him, like even after timeouts, like he was kind of sent by himself in some situations, and he was all for it.
Yeah.
But buying that op seemed to be the answer, and
Yeah, I think initially the ethos felt like we're going to put Kayak in a position to really excel. Some situations it looked like lamb to the slaughter, but again, I don't think a lot of these struggles here on Fracture, at least through the middle of that map, ride solely on Kayak.
So again, I do want to note Crashy's here, not just in this map, but the second as well, this whole series.
Oh, dude.
It's night and day since kickoff.
This was a Crashies-esque performance, which I think is one of the ones that we've seen, well, I think we wanted to see him establish here within the region.
And the general look of Fnatic looks like they're revitalized. Back to a team that's positive, explosive, dangerous.
And we noted the energy felt much better down on the stage today.
yeah, that's beautiful. Also the Teo Bridge, first time we see it. I'm a big fan.
Big fan? Would you keep the neon? They can hear you right now, by the way. We're going out to the studio.
No, I think it's fine. I think they just need to work on where it was working, where it's not working.
Yeah, definitely go back and look at some of the rounds where it was difficult for Kayak to really find value.